Hey everybody, and welcome to the third and final Battletech Aces beta playthrough on First Look. This is part 3 where I wanted to take a look at some of my own forces. Basically take the beta system and say if I use my own miniatures, my own units, change some things around, have the symmetry broken from the last couple playtests where now I'm outnumbered by the AI opponent. Use some different miniatures. I'm going to use some Comstar this time as the AI controlled forces against some Clan Wolf. So we'll have Clan forces against Inner Sphere, Comstar forces at level 2 against a Star, and yeah, and just see what the differential is going to be. So I'll show you the forces, show you the table, and we'll get this underway. So here are my selected forces for this playthrough. As the AI-controlled forces, I have a Comstar level 2, consisting of a Mongoose, a Sentinel, a Guillotine, a Highlander, a Crockett, and a Black Knight. Now, all of these have been upgraded to skill 2. They're the elite of the elite. I'm going to keep with that idea. Just to go to a full 300-point game, and also because it felt right for the AI forces in general to be kind of an uphill battle. But to face that, I've got the best of the best, sort of Clan Wolf. We have a Shadowcat, a Mad Dog Prime, a Gargoyle Prime, a Direwolf Prime, and a Summoner A, all again enhanced to skill level 2. So outnumbered by the AI forces, but never outgunned. The clan have brought some of their big heavy hitters to try and throw down and stop this. Maybe this is like the Battle Trichiad somewhere in like some industrialized zone, or maybe it's just a beat between Comstar and the clan. You never know. But we're going to try this same Clash of Steel scenario with the opposing force centrally deployed across the table, and we'll get this underway. All right, so here it is, my final playtest Clash of Steel game. As we descend upon this airfield, the clan is going to try and wipe out to the end the forces of Comstar. So we're in round 1, and that means an initiative roll. Now, once again, the red dice will be the whatchamacallit, the Comstar player, and then the clan forces will be the high dice, the 8 non-AI forces. So that's 7 to 8, which means the clan gets to go first, winning initiative. Now, something some astute viewers saw during the last games and observed was that you are supposed to shuffle the AI decks between every game round. So I'm going to keep them to one side this time around, and then based on your class, so like Skirmisher, Striker, so Striker and Striker, I will deal out cards appropriately and then shuffle them at the end of the round. Then it's Sniper for the Highlander, and then Brawler, Sniper for the Crockett and the Black Knight. 6 to 5, so with the clan forces winning initiative, that means Comstar is moving first. Now, we have our lowest here, we've got 584, 243 is our lowest, which is the Crockett. So because it's moving first, actually, I can just go like that. If first, ground move to 24 inches in line of sight of nearest enemy, and woods or cover from the most enemies. Going this way, 6 would not give line of sight to all these guys because it's a big building. So I imagine line of sight cover from the most enemies would be across here to these 3. So he's just going to move laterally ground to there. Get within 24 inches as well, so they're 4 inches forward, keeping all these buildings between them. See 1, 2, 3 models as opposed to just this one. Round 1 for the Crockett, and that means we're over to the clan forces. I can choose whoever I want to have go. I am going to, and we're 5 to 5, so just 1 to 1. I think I'm going to activate the Thor, the Summoner A. He's going to walk his 10, 8, and then 2 more. And just go hold down. Big fat ground move at 2. 387 is the Highlander, who will activate next and is not going first. So in order of priority, it's going to be into the woods, cover from the most enemies. We'll be going 6 this way, because then he would only have 1 enemy in line of sight. Oh no, and they prioritize things that have already moved. So he will prioritize this guy as cover from the most enemies. So actually he's going to go this way towards this building, I would imagine, laterally, and try and keep it between him and everybody else. Make it to the woods, but he can't make it behind that building. And team of 1. All right, so next up, we are 4 to 4 remaining. So the clan gets to go. I think we're happy with those guys being in range. So the Widowmaker's going to start moving. The Direwolf Prime, it'll walk 6. Again, keeping this shorter building in between everybody. Looking the massive TMM of 1. Back to the Comstar forces, so we're looking at 575, which is the Black Knight, which is the next lowest. So not first, so that's going to be standstill if no enemies are within 16, and at least 1 enemy in line of sight with TMM is 1 or less. 16 is 2 of these, so no one is within 16, and that means Actually, Black Knight's over here. And we do have a TMM1 model in line of sight. Black Knight just decides to brace and start shooting. With 3 remaining, I think we go to the Gargoyle. Maybe bracket that Crockett out of line of fire. So walking 10. So 8 to there, plus 2 more. Keep this in cover, but the Crockett in the open. Ground move TMM2. And next will be the Guillotine. And the Guillotine is going to have jump if the lowest health enemy has not yet moved. That would be the Shadowcat. So yes, has not yet moved. Into the woods or cover from the most enemies, which would be over to here. The jump TMM of 2. All right, the Vulture also wanting to get in on this is going to walk its 10. That'll be 10 and 2. Get behind some buildings, maybe go see the Crockett. Or it could go around. 8 to there, and then 2 to there. Keep that building obscuring. That's a plus 2 ground move. 781 is the Mongoose, and the Mongoose is going to be, if the lowest health enemy is not yet moved, to where woods and cover is from the most enemies. So that will be, again, a move towards activated models. And of course, the Shadowcat hasn't moved yet, so the Mongoose is going to go 16 to be in cover from everybody if possible. And that would be this way, 8 and then 8 again. I'll take it over to there, and I can only see 1. This is TMM 3. Just the Shadowcat going. Shadowcat can go 16. So getting a flank on the Guillotine. 8 and then 8 again. Actually, can go a little bit further, get it out of cover. TMM of 3 as well, and the last model to go is going to be the Sentinel. The Sentinel is jump if the highest move enemy is not yet moved. It has. So then towards the highest move enemy, ground. And it can go 12. It's towards the Shadowcat, so 8 to there, 4 more. Grab some line of sight and go. It just says towards. So 8 and then 4 more. We'll take it out to there. Ground of 2. It's the combat phase now, and as I won the initiative, the level 2 has to go first. Now they have 8 lucky rerolls that they will use if the to hit is 7 or greater. And yeah, we're gonna go in order of their initiative cards as well. So starting with the 243, which is the Crockett. Then destroy, then TMM, then no cover, then shortest range. Destroy anybody, so then it's going to be lowest TMM, and then range. So TMM is going to be 2, 2, 2, 1, 3. So I think we're going with range and cover. Everything's in cover, so we're going to go to shortest range, and that would probably be the Gargoyle. It's skill 2, goes to 3, 4 for range, 5, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover, and that will be 4 damage with no overheat. Slams into the Gargoyle for 4. Next up is the Highlander, and the Highlander's priorities are health, TMM, range, and then nearest. So health would be the Shadowcat, because there's 7 left in the Gargoyle and only 6 in the Shadowcat. It cannot see the Shadowcat, however. So then health of things it could see would be between the Mad Dog and the Gargoyle. Can't see the Mad Dog or the Gargoyle. So then it's going to be range, TMM, and no cover. And this is, sorry, health, then TMM, then range, then nearest. So health is broken, so it's going to be TMM. Could do health, because the Summoner has less health than the Direwolf. The Summoner is going to be skill 2, plus 2 for range is 4, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. Heat indicated, and it lands, and that's going to be 4 damage into the Summoner. Oh, it's the Black Knight, I believe. 247, 385, 575, yeah. So that's can destroy, range, TMM, no cover. Overheat, it does 3 damage, so nobody can destroy, so that's just going to be range. And the closest thing it can see, I would imagine, is actually the Gargoyle. That building, so skill 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. Misses, but uses a lucky because it was a 7 to hit. And still misses. It does hit on a 6 because it stood still. So that second one does actually land. And that's going to be 3 damage into the Gargoyle. Gargoyle is now missing all of its armor. The Guillotine, priorities for that one is can destroy, then health, then range, then no cover. At a total of 4 damage. It can't destroy anybody. It's not using any overheat because it doesn't have one. So it's just going to be shooting health, which would be, I believe, because it can't see the Manowar, or the Gargoyle? No. Summoner and the Shadowcat have the same health remaining, 6. It goes to range, and the shorter range will be the Shadowcat. So that's going to be 2, 3, 4 for jumping, 5, 6 for range, 9 for TMM, 10 for cover. Reroll for lucky. No. On to the Mongoose. Health, can destroy, range, no cover, nearest. I only see one model, so it's going to be shooting the Man-O-War. That's all I can see. So skill 2, 3, 4 for TMM, 5 for cover, and that's it. Hits. Would use its overheat if it had one, but it doesn't, so that's 2 more into the Gargoyle. And that will be into the structure, so that means a roll of boxcars. Straight up unit destroyed, kills the pilot, down goes the Man-O-War. Oh, the Mongoose, the ultimate Cobra's killer. But Sentinel last goes movement, so the greatest movement. So he's gonna be hunting the Shadowcat, because that's what he can see. Skill 2, 3, 4 for range, 7 for TMM, 8 for cover. Lands it for 10. He's overheat, but he doesn't have any, so that's gonna be 2 damage. Into the Shadowcat. Half its armor gone. Is the level 2 done? Oh, the Gargoyle already destroyed. Tons of armor stripped off. The Summoner and the Shadowcat both hurting badly. Let's see if we can do some damage on the way out. Well, you can't kill it, the Mongoose, but you can definitely hurt it. You have no overheat there, Gargoyle, but you can try and take a chunk out of him. Skill 2, 0 for range. TMM on the Mongoose is 3, so that's 5, 6 for cover. And you land it for 3 damage. That is all the armor it had. Now super dead, so you go away. Well, let's see if we can finish off or at least hurt something here. The Vulture's gonna slam into the Crocket. Overheat twice, so skill 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for TMM. Lands it, and that's gonna be 6 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, most of its armor gone. He's now at 2 heat. We're doing much the same. Skill 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for TMM, 6 for cover, because he can't see the whole thing. No overheat on the Summoner though, just 4 damage. Lands it with a 6. And that will get into the structure by 1. Let's see what the damage is. That's a 9, which is nothing. Besides, they're going to finish off the Guillotine. That's going to be a skill 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for TMM, 6 for cover. And that lands it for 6 damage, which will just finish it off. The Shadowcat last, taking a shot into that Sentinel. 3 damage if he lands it, so that's going to be skill of 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6 for TMM. And misses. It's rounds, casualties on both sides, but we had to fight dishonorably to do it. And we have to reshuffle the decks now to see who's going, or what the actual card's going to be for the AI on round 2. Decks are shuffled, initiative roll. It's an 8 for the Comstar versus a 7 for the Clan, and that means Comstar is going first on round 2. The cards dealt out, so the Clan has 4 models to 5 remaining, and they have to activate first. Start with the Mad Dog, walking 10. Going laterally, just to make sure this Mongoose doesn't get too cheeky. So 8 and then 2 more, getting behind a building. Round 2, so that means for the Comstar forces, lowest number here is going to be 166, which is the Guillotine. So not moving first, ground to 18 from the nearest enemy. So ground to 18 from the nearest enemy, that means walking into the woods. Actually walking backwards to 18. So walking backwards to this woods. Oh no, they favor things that have activated already. So that means walking to 18 would be over to here. Actually would go 8 and 8 would go behind this building over here. Cover and within 18. Now moving towards things that have already activated is because that way they can't run away later on and lose the shot. 3 Clan models remain. And I think we go with the Thor, the Guillotine having now activated. Everything else is relatively slow. The Thor just wants to be able to get to somewhere cheeky and murdery. And it feels like walking to short range is a good plan. Sim ground 2, and you can just see the Guillotine for now. For everything else, all right, so then we're on to next lowest is 617, which is the Highlander. If you have woods or cover from all enemies, and stand still if you have woods and cover from all enemies, and at least one enemy within line of sight, or then jump into woods and cover from the most enemies. So 2 models have activated, so jump to woods and cover from the most enemies will be over to here. Because both these guys have activated, and that will give him a TMM jumping of 2. The remaining Clan forces Direwolf and the Shadowcat. The Direwolf really wants to finish somebody off, but also not have anybody get behind her, so she's going to, I think, start trying to take on the Highlander. So moving to here, just ground, and some cover. On our side, it's going to be the Black Knight. Stand still if no enemies are within 12 and at least 1 enemy in line of sight is TMM 1 or less. Well, then no enemies are within 12, and he's definitely TMM 1. Just sit still to shoot. Just the Shadowcat not loving that Sentinel can still move, but able to walk 16 and get behind people. Oh, it's terrible that is already moved. I think we go to the woods. I think we go 16 and then go to the woods. Let's go 8 to here and then 8 again. Side actually, so we can see the rear of the Highlander and the guillotine. We'll just sit there. All right, the Sentinel now goes, and the Sentinel has jump if the lowest health enemy has not yet moved. Well, the lowest health enemy is between the actually it's still the Shadowcat. They have moved. So then just ground towards the lowest health enemy. So it's going to go try and hunt the Shadowcat, and also try and hug cover. So staying within 6, I'll go to short range. Just go to there. Team of 2. Go on this side, so the Mongoose gets to go. It is not in retreat yet because it has 1 structure to lose. Jump if the highest move enemy is not yet moved, has, and then ground towards the highest move enemy, which would be towards the Shadowcat again. So going 8 to here, and then 8 more around here. Get this wall in between them. And try and face the most enemies possible. Serpentine Babu, Serpentine. Combat phase. So with the Comstar winning the roll, the clan has to fire first this time. And I think we try and splash that Mongoose or maybe the Sentinel. So we'll just straight up die. So I think, or the Shadowcat could put 4 into the rear of somebody. So it's a kill if he gets it. So he's going to shoot the Sentinel. So it's going to be 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6, 7 for TMM, 8 for cover. The different lands, hard 8. No, nothing, didn't matter who he shot. Well, let's go to the Mad Dog. Mad Dog's feeling pretty hot right now. So we're not gonna overheat this turn, but we are gonna shoot, and we're gonna shoot into the guillotine. So that's gonna be 2, 3, 4 for heat, 5, 6 for range, 7 for TMM, 8 for cover. So hard 8 again for 4 damage. Nope. Great, well the summoner's probably gonna die. It doesn't actually want to shoot the guillotine because if it shoots the guillotine, it will be less damagey. Guillotine is, no, fully armored. Yeah, not a lot of point. Let's shoot the Highlander instead. So 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover, because it jumped. Nothing. Well, still not feeling great about that. So I guess we've missed all 3 shots. The Direwolf needs to make up for this. We shoot the Black Knight, I guess. It's in range. Yeah, there's a building in between us, so I do have to fire through that. So it's gonna be 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for cover. That's it, because it's got no TMM. Now I could overheat a gajillion times with the Direwolf and do 9 damage. So I might as well maybe skill 5 for next turn. I'll just overheat by 1 because it'll go through to the guts. And a 5, 2, 4 for range, 5 for cover. Yeah, hits. 1 in the structure of the Black Knight. That's an 8 weapon hit. So we were heated up by 1, and we've blown a piece of the weaponry off of the Black Knight. The guillotine strikes back first. It's going to have priority of lowest TMM, then range. And so with lowest TMM, it can see the... It can actually only see the summoner and the vulture, so, or the Mad Dog. Both same TMM, so it's going to be range. Read indicated, so it's skill 2, 3, 4 for TMM, 5 for cover. No rerolls for this. No, and it misses. On to the Highlander. It's going to be can destroy, then TMM, then range, then nearest. Can't destroy anybody because there's nobody with 5 or less health, except the Shadowcat who he can't see. So then it's going to go down to lowest TMM, which would be the Direwolf. Is indicated, so it's 5 damage after this goes off. So skill 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for TMM, 6 for cover. Cranks it, auto kill. There's an auto crit too. The Widowmaker's armor gone, and a critical hit, which is a 3. No, it's an engine hit, so we heat up when we fire our weapons. It jumped. Black scars, so it didn't matter. I still hit. I'm an idiot. So then we're on from the Highlander. The next highest would be, or next lowest would be the Black Knight. -1 damage, so it's can destroy, then TMM, then nearest. Can't see the Shadowcat, so then it's TMM, which would be the Direwolf. 2, 3, 4 for range. It does indicate overheat, which means 4 total damage. If it manages to land this, it's going to overheat twice. So 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for TMM, 6 for cover. Misses. It overheated. Oh, sorry, it would have been on a 5 actually because it stood still. So 2, 3, 4 for range, 1, 2, 3 for range, 4 for TMM, 5 for cover, but it rolled a 4. And no rerolls because it's not over 7. And it is the Sentinel, so then can destroy. The Sentinel can do 2 damage. So it can't destroy anybody. So then it's going to be from can destroy, it goes to lowest health. Shadowcat, so that's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 for speed, and then 6 for cover. Nope, Snake Eyes won't hit anything. It's just the mongoose left. So highest move, which means it is shooting the Shadow Cat. So 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6, 7 for TMM, 8 for cover. It will use rerolls here, but it lands a 9. So the remaining armor off the Shadow Cat for 2. And that is all of Comstar having fired. Round 3, shuffling the deck. Round 3, things are getting sporty. Initiative roll. It's a 10 for the clan, 8 for Comstar this time round. So they gain the initiative. And let's see what the cards are like. So dealing out our cards, Skirmisher, Striker, Striker, Sniper, and Brawler. 20 is the lowest on the Black Knight, and that's going to be, if first, jump to 24 inches from all enemies, and woods and cover from the most enemies. The only woods you can make from here is this, so woods and cover from all enemies. The jump +2 for the Black Knight. Alright, well, clan forces need to get into it with at least some degree of safety. Now, the Widowmaker taking an engine hit is a big problem, because that's my primary damage dealer. So I think the Widowmaker is just going to walk to the woods. With a move of 6, I can go 4 to the edge of the woods and then just toe into it for my last 2 inches of movement. Back to the wall against everybody, and it's back to Comstar. This is going to be 318 with the guillotine. That is stand still if any enemies within 24 and line of sight are TMM 1 or less. See the direwolf, so it goes down to ground into woods and cover from the most enemies. With an 8-inch move, that feels like it's because it's favoring the activated model. It's going to move back here to get into woods and cover from everybody. Be able to see the Thor, cover, and then cover as well. All right, the Mad Dog just strafing, I think. Very overheated. Strafes 10, so just moves over here 10. Whoop, support the direwolf. Move 2, and the next lowest will be the 585 on the mongoose. Sprint if no enemies within 24 inches to where the fewest enemies are in line of sight. And then ground towards the highest TMM enemy is the next one. And the highest TMM enemy that's activated would be the Mad Dog. So 8, so let's go 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 8 more. Whew. This is TMM. Oh, sorry, that's the Sentinel. It's the same difference. it's in fact closer, so it just walks over to here. And keeps its front to the Shadow Cat. Highlander and Sentinel having not gone yet, but being relatively slow, it probably makes sense for the Thor to fall back. So 4, and then 4 again. Over to here, at line of sight of the Highlander. Move 2, and the next lowest will be the Sentinel. Jump if the lowest health enemy is not yet moved to where woods and cover are from the most enemies. So that's going to be... it can't jump, so then it's ground towards the highest health enemy you can destroy. Shadow Cat, so it's going to go back to, the highest health enemy I can destroy. The Shadow Cat hasn't activated yet, actually. So then it prioritizes the next thing, which is ground towards the fewest enemies in line of sight, minimum 1. Would be back to fewest enemies in line of sight, minimum 1. Probably over to, it has to be somebody who's activated. So minimum 1, fewest who have activated already. I guess that would be over to here again. Because it can get out of line of sight of the Shadow Cat there, and only have the Mad Dog in line of sight that's activated. Alright, so then all we have left is that Shadow Cat, and as it hadn't activated yet, we get to move. And while it's very tempting to kill these little guys, it's incredibly tempting to kill these little guys. I think I have to, actually. I think that's what I do. I'm just gonna go walking behind them. Round 2. Alright, won the roll, so that means it's just the Highlander left, actually. Stand still if only one enemy's in line of sight. Well, there's more than one, so that means stand still if you have woods and cover from all enemies. You do. It does have woods and cover from all enemies. So yeah, it's just gonna sit still. Actually, I think I can also see the Mad Dog, so yeah, it's just gonna be here and here. Alright, so now shooting first. 20 is the lowest for the Black Knight. And shooting priority is can destroy, then health, then TMM, then nearest. Can't destroy anybody. It can destroy the Shadow Cat. So it's going to shoot the Shadow Cat. So that's going to be 2, 4 because it jumped. Is it overheated? It is. So 5, 6. And then, so 2, 4 for jumping, 5, 6 for overheated, 7, 8 for range, 9, 10 for moving, 11 for moving. The reroll, because it can destroy it. No. Black Knight, it will be the Guillotine, and its priorities is Can Destroy, TMM, and Nearest. Can Destroy yet again is going to be the Shadow Cat, so that will be 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6, 7 for TMM, and that's it. Lands it. So that'll kill the Shadow Cat, and this is all said and done. Mongoose is next. It goes highest TMM, and the Mongoose can only see one target, which is the Mad Dog anyway, so it's going to shoot there. So 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6 for TMM. And it'll be 2 damage if it lands. Does. Mad Dog is taking 2. Then it will be the Sentinel, and then finally the Highlander. So the Sentinel is Can Destroy, then Greatest Health. Greatest Health is the Direwolf, and the Direwolf will need... Sorry, Greatest Health is going to be... It can only see one target, which is the Mad Dog. So it's going to shoot that again. So 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6 for TMM. No cover. Oh, and it's a critical. More into the Mad Dog. What's the crit? A 3 engine hit. No, everyone's engine hit. And so last up is the Highlander. And the Highlander is Can Destroy, then TMM, then range. Can Destroy is nobody, then lowest TMM will be the Direwolf. So 2, 1 because it stood still, 2, 3 for range, 4 for TMM, 5 for cover. Lands it. A 6 because it was overheated already, but it overheated again because it was asked to, and that took away the rest of the Direwolf's armor. Not great. I guess we have to shoot back. Let's start with the Shadow Cat. He's dead, so he's going to shoot into the back of the Mongoose, I think. Push that sucker off. So that sucker is 0. So 2, 3, 4, 5 for range, and that's it. Or for TMM, sorry. Lands it, and in the rear, the Mongoose had 2 structure left, and the Shadow Cat does 4 damage, so it's just destroyed. Dog, not feeling great, is going to blast that Sentinel. We'll kill it. I might as well shut myself down here and just try and kill this thing, because it's going to get loose behind me otherwise. So I'm going to shut down by overheating twice. 2, so I'm skill 4, 5, 6 for range, 7, 8 for TMM. And I'll shut down, but if I land this, it dies. It just straight dies from 6 damage. Ugh, shut down. That's not great. And then who else can we damage here? Well, the Black Knight's not feeling great, so I think the Direwolf tries to finish it off. Direwolf has a heat on it though, which means skill 3 now, 4, 5 for range, 6, 7 for jumping, 8 for cover, but if I land this, it dies. 5 will do nothing. Heat causes us to open up again. So let's do it with the Thor. And the Thor will, I guess, also shoot the Black Knight, try and finish it off. The Thor has 4 damage, no possibility of overheating. So 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. And we missed by 1. Oh, things are dangerous. We couldn't land the hits, but we managed to lose another model each. 3 to 4 left, going in around 4. Let's shuffle the decks and roll for initiative. We got 2 active models right now because I'm shut down, so it's a 2-for-1 activation right now, depending on who wins the initiative. I do not. So the clan wins the, or the Comstar wins the initiative. I did not pay my bills. Let's see who's got what. So Skirmisher first is the Guillotine, then it's a Striker, then it's a Sniper, and then it's a Brawler. Clan has to move first, which is terrible. And I'm shut down with the Mad Dog. So I think we go with the Thor, and it's gonna slightly retreat. Yeah, I can go 10, so 8. And then 2 more, and just hug this building with ground. All right, 1 model left. So that means that 3 models will activate on the AI side. They have to move all 4, which means they just move in order. So starting with lowest is the Black Knight, and the Black Knight has, if the lowest health enemy is further than 24, towards the lowest health enemy. Mad Dog, so towards the Mad Dog, he's only got 4 health left, so he's gonna walk, be able to see the Mad Dog. 7, so we can clear the woods, and now we can see the Mad Dog. Sorry, the Summoner. Actually, either one. They both have, he has the least health left, yeah. 212, which is the Highlander. Jump if any enemies within 12 to 18. There's nobody within 12, so he's gonna go on to the highest elevation. He has to go up. He's got Big Mac energy up there. It's just like, what up, guys? You're on the ropes. And the Sentinel. Jump if the lowest health enemy is not yet moved to where woods and cover for most enemies. And then towards the lowest health enemy, so it's going to be towards the Mad Dog, and he's just going to go grab cover. And finally, the Guillotine. If the highest move enemy is not yet moved into the woods cover from the most enemies, so then it's just towards the highest move enemy, which would be towards, I guess, the Mad Dog? Either one, the Summoner or the Mad Dog, they both have the same. So moving up to here. And it can move 8, just moving around the corner to there. Actually, I can't see, so it's gonna go to there, actually. Out of line of sight of the direwolf. The direwolf gets to go, and he'd really like to kill that Black Knight, and is mostly out of line of sight of things, because it's in the woods and in cover, so it's gonna stay where it is. And just sit still. It has tons of heat on it right now. We have to shoot first because we lost the initiative. So trying to kill that Black Knight with the direwolf, that means skill 2 goes to 4 for heat, back down to 3 for standing still, but then 4 or 5 for range, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. Actually, it's out of cover, so just 6. Hit that Black Knight and kill it. Yes, finally. We'll shut it down, unfortunately. And then it's the Summoner. Depending on the guillotine, that's going to be 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for cover, 6 for TMM. Misses. All right, getting shot back. So lowest will once again be the Black Knight, who's destroyed. Priority is lowest TMM, which is the direwolf. So just taking a shot. It only has 2 damage right now. It will overheat, and overheat twice, which will shut it down, so might as well. So that's going to be 4 damage. It's 3 damage because it's got the weapon hit. So 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for cover. And it lands. 4 to the guts of the direwolf, which will put it in retreat. And 7 breaks its move. Falling back 1.5 inches next turn because its legs are all shot off. It lives, because next up after 135 is 212, which is the Highlander. So can destroy, and that's just going to be the over here. 4 damage, doesn't need to overheat. So 2, 3, 4 for jumping. 4, 5, 6 for range, and 7 for cover. Lands it, so it's the direwolf dead. Destroyed the Mad Dog as well, actually. But the next one was lowest TMM, and it stood still. So following on from there, we have the Sentinel. So lowest health would be the Mad Dog. It cannot overheat, so that doesn't matter. So it's just going to be a 2, 3, 4 for range. And then no cover, because it's in the open. So 2, 3, 4 for range. Hits the Mad Dog structure on a 10. Fire control hit for +2 to hit. And then I believe it's just the guillotine left, who is highest movement target, and then can destroy. So either way, it's going to be the Mad Dog. Oh, I can't see the Mad Dog, actually. It's going to be the Summoner. So that's going to be 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for TMM, 5, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. So that's a miss, and it can't reroll. Oh, it can reroll because it's on 7s. Lands it. Highest move it can see, so that's 4 damage, and that's 2 into its guts, which is a 4. Which would be another fire control hit. And that's it. Oh man, on the ropes. Well, at least the Mad Dog wakes up barely. Black Knight is destroyed, and the guillotine and the Highlander have taken the field from the looks of things. I'm pretty sure everybody is going to be forced to withdraw. Actually, we're not quite at less than half. We have half remaining and more than half on the Mad Dog, so we're actually gonna play one more round. Round 5. It's getting tight, and we're down to 5 rerolls actually because I just used one. All right, the remaining wolves on the ropes. Initiative roll 8 to 9. Comstar has it. For the skirmisher, the guillotine, then the striker, which is the sentinel, and then lastly the sniper, which is the Highlander for the 3 remaining battle mechs. Activate first, which means everybody goes afterwards. So the Thor can move, so it's just gonna move to here and take its TMM of ground 2. Now the entire Comstar team goes. The guillotine is going to be ground towards the furthest enemy you can get behind, so can't do that. And then just jump towards the furthest enemy. This now is the Thor, because it moved away, so he's just going to jump into these woods. Take the woods from him. The Sentinel, and that's going to be jump if the lowest health enemy has not yet moved to where woods and cover is from the most enemies. They're the same. So then towards the lowest health enemy, and then towards the fewest enemies in line of sight, minimum 1. So he will ground move towards where he can just see this Mad Dog. He has to go to here. He can walk 16 because he hasn't activated yet, and he has same health. That gives him a ground move at 2. And then the Highlander, last but not least, sit still if there's only one enemy in line of sight, and then sit still if you have woods or cover from all enemies, and then ground into woods, cover from the most enemies, and then ground towards. I can't get off this building. Okay. I guess I have cover from all enemies because I'm behind this building. Probably ground to the back so that I'm like partially obscured from everybody. Then you only see part of me and I'll have cover. It's the Mad Dog. Well, they can go 10, and they will. And we might as well die like heroes. So we're gonna go here and then 2 more and be in cover and be in the rear of the guillotine. We have to fire first. Unfortunately, everyone's got fire control hits, which isn't great, but the Mad Dog could overheat twice, plus be in the rear for 7 damage into the guillotine, which could conceivably kill it. We're going to do. So we're going to overheat twice again, because we fear nothing. And then we're going to be skill 2, 3-4 for the fire control hit, 5-6 for range, 7 for cover, 8-9 for TMM. 7 damage if we land this, and 7 damage is 7 damage. So let's see if we can get into the guts of this guillotine and kill it on a 9, sorry, 10, we do it! The guillotine goes to 7 damage, and that will be into its structure. What happens? 5's nothing. Let's light it up for the Thor, and the Thor could fire at skill 2, 3-4 for the fire control hit, and then 5-6 for TMM, 7-8 for range, 9 for cover. And again, let's see if we can do it. 4 damage. We get up a boxcar. Oh my god. All right, so double crit, because we crit naturally on the roll and we're still in the structure. It's only 4 damage though. 1, 2, 3, 4. We couldn't quite finish it off. Put it into force withdrawal. And what's the crit? 7, which is half move, and then the one for the structure, 6. Moving a weapon hit. We didn't quite kill it, but we got really close. It matters because I think we're about to die. So lowest run is the guillotine. It was completely healthy, so shortest range is the target. That's going to be into the Thor, summoner rather, which will just kill it. So 2, 3, 4 for jumping, 5, 6 for range, 7, 8 for TMM, 9 for cover. Lucky reroll because it's over 7. Misses. Sentinel then. So the Sentinel can also see the summoner. That's all it can see, so that'll be the target. 2, 3, 4 for range, 5 for TMM, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. And it lands it. So it's going to be a dead summoner. It only had 2 health left, which makes the Highlander's only target the Mad Dog. It does use overheat, but it's already heated up. So skill 4 from overheating, 5, 6 for TMM, 7, 8 for range, 9 for cover. It might as well overheat because if it does, actually doesn't need to overheat, it just kills it if it hits it. So it's a 9. With lucky, nope, that's an 8. So down to 3 luckies left. Well, that vulture's still alive. Round 6. Force withdrawal with the guillotine. Let's see who's going first. 10 to 10, that's a reroll. It is the clan. It gets initiative, which means the entire Comstar force has to move first. So starting with the guillotine, which is a skirmisher, then striker, then sniper. Lowest will be the Highlander. And at first, ground to 30 in line of sight of the nearest enemy and woods and cover for the most enemies. So it just goes, ah. 9-13 is the guillotine. It has to force withdraw, so it's just going to force withdraw. Its movement is halved, so it's 4 inches of movement, so it literally just moves out of the through the woods and faces. The Sentinel, jump if the highest move enemy. It can't jump, and then ground towards the highest move enemy. So it's going to try to ground towards the highest move enemy. The Mad Dog gets to go now, and it's just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hang it over here where the Highlander can't see it. The Sentinel can't see. Actually, the Highlander can still see it. Hopefully this works. If we go to here, actually, the Highlander can't see it, the Sentinel can't see it, but he can see the guillotine. We can do this. We lost the initiative. Let's see if this last shot lands. So the Mad Dog, it's at 3 heat. Oh no, it only took a fire control hit. All it needs to do is land to kill this guillotine, so it's just going to try and take a shot. So skill 2, 3, 4 for heat, 5, 6 for fire control, 7, 8 for range, 9 for cover, 10 for TMM. Roll a 10. That's a 7. Nothing. Firing back, it'll just be the guillotine, who is skill 2, has a damage hit, so it's damage 3. So skill 2, 3, 4 for range, 5, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. Uses a lucky, and the Mad Dog's down. Blam! That's it. The clan defeated by Comstar, like in history. So a few bad dice rolls aside, these guys were super shot up with the exception of the Sentinel and the Highlander, and there was a couple moments where that could have been very different, as the Widowmaker fluffing a couple of rolls was kind of the deciding factor here. So overall, even using like made-up forces where I just, balanced through TVs and didn't use, or through point values, and didn't use a larger force against a smaller force, it still felt fine. Like, I didn't feel like I didn't have a chance against these guys. They did some unpredictable things. They closed in weird ways. The Highlander in particular acted like a Highlander and decided to get on a building at the end of the game, which I thought was cool. And overall, I think that this is The core mechanic functions just fine. Shuffling the decks also felt good because I think that just means that you have that element of unknown if you've seen a card. There's only 8, so they don't repeat themselves. I do think I think 300 points is a good size for this. I don't know if I would go over that engagement size. So we got a third and final look at the AI card system for Aces, Battletech Aces for Alpha Strike, and using sort of like custom forces just to give it a little stress test and see how it works. Obviously, this is still the beta. It's not final. If you are a backer on Kickstarter, you got an email about this in your updates with a link to go check it out. Lots of people in the comments for the last 2 were like, where do I actually get these? I'm a backer. Just read your emails because they're all in there. And yeah, it works. I think it's functioning. Obviously, this is still the beta, so there's the final copy will probably have some different things, maybe expand the card decks. Who knows what the actual final formula for it all is going to look like. But I think this system works fine. So if you want to hear my thoughts, how this compares to other game systems with card-driven AIs, or flowchart AIs and stuff like that, you can check it out on I Just Played, which is one of my Patreon-exclusive podcasts on the GMG Podcast Network on Patreon. And you can also check out the other 2 previous games if you're just coming upon this one today, which will be up in the Battletech Alpha Strike playlist, where you can see, and the first look playlist, where you can see these beta rules as described in the rule booklet. To check out the intro, which is 2 models against 4 models, and then the one using the Alpha Strike starter set as its core sort of build. So if you enjoyed this little series, big thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Ash. Happy gaming. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look to the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Death Ray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching. It really does help out, and happy gaming.